Okay, so I guess we should start now. Good morning, everyone. I, Dhruv Jakhetia, welcome you all to this seminar organized by the Alumni Club of the Department of Information Technology on the topic Data Science Prospect for Engineers. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Anshita Verma, ma'am, who is currently a data scientist at CrowdDoing. She completed her graduation from UIT RGPV itself in 2020 from Information Technology branch. She also did MS from Northeastern University, Boston, Massachusetts, United States. So, ma'am, I, on behalf of the entire Information Technology Department, welcome you. We are also we are also accompanied by our respected HOD, Dr. Asmita Moghe, ma'am, our faculty coordinators for the Alumni Club, Dr. Rupam Gupta, ma'am, and Professor Shifa Maniar, ma'am, also the other faculties of the department, and an amazing coordinating team of students. So before ma'am begin with her experience sharing and this session, I'll walk through the insights of the seminar to all the participants. So this basically the seminar is about data science. You'll learn through about ma'am's journey through data science, also about the latest trends, challenges, and opportunities that is offered by this specific field and industry, and also the impact that data science has on the current scenario of industry and the future that it withholds. So you all can put forward your questions in the chat box during the seminar, and we'll put forward the questions to ma'am during the question answer session. And also I request all the participants to be as interactive during the session so that we can have a good conversation about data science over here. So thank you so much. I hand over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. That was a really warm welcome. And before I start with the presentation, I wanted to express my thanks to everyone, the entire UIT IT department team, and a special thanks to Dr. Asmita Moghe ma'am for giving me this opportunity and inviting me here to share my experience with you all. And I also want to thank the coordinator team, Rupam ma'am, and also Professor Shifali Manihar, and the entire student coordinator team for making it happen and organizing it. Okay, so I'll share my screen. Okay, so let me just start with the presentation. So hi everyone, I'm Anshita. As Harshvardhan has already introduced a little bit about me to you all, I have completed my master's degree recently from Northeastern University, and I'm joining you all from California, USA right now. And yeah, so before we go start with the presentation, I'm just gonna share you the agenda of the things I will be sharing in this presentation. Most of the things Harshvardhan rightfully said that I'm gonna talk about data science things, career paths, and what is going on, the latest trends and things are going on in the entire data science field. But also along with that, I'm also going to share my master's experience and the research internship experience I had in the data science field in the USA, and also we'll talk about the different kinds of data science career path one can choose, and at the last I will talk about few mistakes new data scientists could make. Okay. So moving on, so before I go ahead into the presentation, I just wanted to talk a little bit about who I am, so you guys will be able to know a little bit more about me. So I had done my bachelor's as introduced in the introduction from UIT RGPV in the IT field, just as you all. And then after completing my bachelor's, I worked at Infosys as a systems engineer for a year. And then I went ahead to pursue my master's in the year 2021. Later in the year 2022, I did my research internship in IPM research. And after that, I did TA-ship at Northeastern University itself with one of my professors. And by the year 2023, recently, I have completed my master's degree. And on the screen, you can see that's me at the top with one of my professors and co-TA, and at the bottom, that's me with my colleagues at research, IBM Research. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. Um, let's go ahead to the first part of the presentation, that is why pursue higher education. So this is the thing, like I wanted to share that why I pursued higher education and why some of the students among you who are attending this meeting could think of pursuing higher education, maybe in the data science field, or maybe if you're someone who is going forward to do masters in data science, or even go forward for your studies in PhD and become researcher or something. So a few of the things I wanted to share, like why I pursued and why this is a good option for, could be a good option for some of you. So the first thing is deeper understandings of subject. So as I said this, so like as I did my undergrad in IT, and someone who has done their undergrads in IT or CS, most of the subjects which we study, data structures, database management, and all these things. So when you do masters, most of the things like you will be doing and studying in those subjects only, but it's mostly a better and deeper level of understanding and a higher level of education. So it's mostly you will take a concentration among all these subjects which we study in IT. We study so many things, like we are studying security, we are studying software engineering, we are studying database management. If there is something from among these subjects, if we are very passionate about and we want to have a deeper understanding on these subjects before going into the tech world, into the industry, so we can definitely think of pursuing higher education so that we can have a deeper understanding and a better grasp on our knowledge base in these particular subjects. For example, while I was doing my information systems masters, I took subjects like database management, data science methodologies, and I took subjects like data warehousing and business intelligence. So these subjects were mostly towards the data science concentration, and that is what I was interested in, and that is what I went forward to study and pursue to have a much more better knowledge. Talking about having a better knowledge, the another thing which higher education helps is gaining practical experience. As when you are doing master's program, most of the time you don't have only do the theoretical understanding, but also your subjects and the way your studies are constructed are like you will have to do projects, you will have to do documentation, and you will have to do presentation. Most of the grades are around that, so you are actually gaining the practical experience. It's quite similar to the things you do in the industry. It's just that in the industry you will get paid, here you are just getting graded. So that's the difference, but it's this the experience is quite similar to how things are done in the industry, and you are actually treated as like professionals, that you have to be professionally work on the subjects and gain experience. So talking about gaining practical experience, another thing masters education help you is bridge. It act as a bridge, and it helps you in making that bridge and filling that bridge, and difference between the skills you have and the skills which are required in the market. Definitely when you do your undergrad, so and you go into the market, immediately most of the time the students are not that particularly skilled and ready. So sometimes if some students want to pursue masters and sometimes they want to upskill themselves in a particular field, be it another field. For example, IT is not entirely data science. So, for example, if someone wants to pursue completely a degree and a career in data science, so they can think about pursuing a master's degree. So, it will help you bridge that gap which is required in the skills. Next thing is changing the trajectory. As I was mentioning about bridging the gap, so changing the trajectory is also something which could a master's education can help. For example, there could be a person who might have done a degree in mechanical engineering, but as we all know, the tech is going ahead and it's booming. At one point of time, that student thought that okay, I want to do a degree which is more towards software and I want to do learn about automation, because nowadays even the cars and the electronic devices, machines, everything is becoming more tech oriented. So if that person has taken and done a degree later on and more towards software engineering or information system or AI data science, that person could have more knowledge and actually change the path of his or her career and go towards a different direction, and actually will open up a lot of opportunities in both of the domains. And similarly, for example, in IT as well, and IT and CS as well, it's not entirely data science. And right now, like, there are many students who actually do a bachelor's degree that is entirely in data science and applied science. So it is something like we students can also think of. So we can also change our trajectory and our path towards that direction. Talking about the opportunities, master's degree, what it another thing it helped me was to provide the global exposure. This is Yeah. It goes without saying that master's degree, especially a master's degree abroad, is gonna give you a lot of global exposure. So I got the opportunity to study with students who were from Asia, who were from different parts of Asia like China, Taiwan, South Asia, Europe, and Native America itself. And not only that, I got the opportunity to get taught by professors who had worked in the technical field in different parts of the world, in different countries, China, Europe, America. So the global exposure is definitely there. It really helps you enhance your overall personality and confidence. And that leaves us to the last point, which is why one should pursue higher education, global opportunities. Definitely, it also goes without saying, like, I also got the opportunity to pursue and get the opportunity to do a research internship, which was also a global opportunity for me. So definitely, after pursuing this degree, you will not only be able to work in America, but also in different parts of the world, also in India, wherever you want to work. So that definitely goes without saying that it really opens the door for global opportunities. Now, let's move on to the next slide. How I landed an internship at IBM Research. So, for so for this, I want to share a little bit of story that how I landed the research internship at IBM Research. So similar to you all, I was also in back in 2018, 2019, I was attending some seminar which was conducted by IBM. I think it was conducted in data science and what are their new technologies and something they are building. back in 2018, and that's when I decided, okay, me and my friend, we all decided that we're gonna do our major project in data science. And in 2019, I think IBM did a campus placement in Bhopal. Unfortunately, I was not able to go to the like the final round, and I was quite upset that okay, I did this entire major project that was in data science. We actually made a very nice project for stress detection and everything we did from scratch, and I was like, okay, I did not got the opportunity, and I especially made this project and I was looking forward to the interview. But anyway, I had my offer letter of emphasis and I had my admit from Northeastern. So I went ahead in that path and went towards that direction. And later on, when I landed in US, I was like, okay, now I'm in the US. This is the land of opportunity, America. Let me just see, like, is there a chance I can get, a job at IBM? And out of nowhere, not only IBM, I'm applying on IBM research. And I was lucky enough to get an interview as well. And guess what really helped me to get that job? It was that particular project which I did 2 years back in my undergrad major project. So that project really impressed my manager, and it was out of like my resume. It was really impressive and they really liked it, and that was a major part of me getting that internship. So I just wanted to share this because I really want, you guys are currently in your undergrad, and you guys are probably in your second, third, or fourth year. And I just wanted to share the story so that you guys also know that maybe these things are not going to work out right now, but definitely in the long run, they will really help. So, just this slide, this is just a recap of the things which actually really helped me to get that internship. One thing was my undergrad project, my master's project, obviously my master's degree, and also like I had researched about the company a lot before, so that also really helped me. And about my internship experience. So the internship experience was really, I got the opportunity there to not only lead the project, but also the atmosphere was quite great. I mean, the work culture is really great, as we all have heard, obviously, before, even in India, we definitely hear. But here, when I got to experience it, it was really great. At internship level only, I was able to interact with senior data scientists and senior research scientists, and be a part in the decision making, and even got the opportunity to lead a project. And overall, I got the opportunity to connect with so many researchers across the globe who were working in different parts of the IBM research at different countries. Okay, so that was so that was the first part of my presentation of talking me about how I got the internship, and why I did the master's degree. So, okay, now let's move on to talking more about different sorts of data science roles. Okay. So, I just wanted to ask a question before we go ahead. If you guys can share the answers in the chat. The things, what you can see on the screen, how many of you can differentiate between all these three roles, and if you guys are able to, just in one line explain or tell what these people do: a data engineer, a data scientist, or data analyst. Anyone?
Anyone knows anything, you guys can write in the chat box.
I'm sure many of you might be aware, but I just wanted to know that. Okay, great. And data scientist. Next, Sahil. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you all are saying correctly. Uh, okay. Managing the data. Yeah, right. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, Sahil, Soumyadeep, Shubham, Kritika, you all guys are correct. So, yeah, I wanted to share this thing as like many people who start the career in data science or data scientist, most of the time they just focus more towards okay becoming a data scientist. Like they just want to become, they come and they just want to become more towards like okay I want to be a data scientist. As even when I was mentoring new young talents in my TA ship, so most of the people were very confused like, okay, what does a data engineer do? What does a data scientist do? And what does a data analyst do? Mostly, if you want to make a career in data and if you are interested in any of the data science field, all three things are quite good. It's not that a data scientist is better or a data analyst is much better or maybe an engineer is much better. It's just they are different roles. All are equally important. All are different in their own sense, and all are just require a different sets of skills and different sets of understanding and different parts of technical and maybe non-technical skills. And just to differentiate on the roles, some of the students correctly said. So basically, a data engineer's role is to get all the data, transform it, and make it usable for the data scientist and data analyst. And data scientist and data analyst role, I mean, I think mostly the things were kind of like similar. Uh, So a data scientist and data analyst role most of the time is quite like okay this is also a data scientist do and that is a data analyst do, but data scientists mostly work on interpreting the data for making the model for future predictions, and data analyst also works on interpreting the data but on the past data, and the one who actually makes available all the data for both data scientists and data analysts is the data engineer. And this is like some of them like correctly said in the chat, and these are like few of here I have just mentioned few of the important skills, but there are more definitely out there which are much more the skill set required for all these roles are quite more, but this is in short in one line I just wanted to explain what I said in the previous slide. What does data engineer, data scientist and data analyst do? Okay, so some of the popular skills, Some of the popular skills. This is a data which is like an year old, but also this skills which is said here, Python and SQL. These skills are still quite common. Most of the time, all the data roles just in data engineer, Java is also acceptable, that is also required. But most of the time, if you are using Python, SQL, that is enough. Other languages and skills are quite transferable once you have the knowledge of Python and SQL, and once you start, that's enough. I know that undergrad students, when especially if you are in second year and third year, so you don't know like which language to start with. The same thing used to happen with us as well, that when we were in undergrad we didn't know which language to start with, and we always used to get confused, like okay, there are so many things and I'm going to learn everything. But instead of learning most of the things, if you really want to make a career in data science, then these are particularly few things like you should really become a proficient in, instead of mastering so many skills. Like don't master like so many skills and like jack of all and master of none. Don't be like that, and just try to focus mainly on Python, SQL, or maybe if you know Java as well, that's also perfectly fine. But just learn few skills first, and then definitely you can go ahead and learn other skills as well. Okay, so let's talk about the other skills which are required. So, as IT students and CS students, most of the time we focus more towards the technical skills, like we want to learn Python, we want to learn SQL, and that is what we focus more on. And as a student who are from IT and CS background, we definitely focus more on language and our technical skills. But apart from these skills, I feel that students, especially during the undergrad, and if we do not have much experience, we really lack skills on communication, interpretation, and statistics. Apart from just the technical skills of Python, SQL, and the technical languages, these are some of the skills which are really important if we are particularly talking about data science skills and data science field, and be it whatever direction, whether it is data engineering, data science, or data analyst. Especially communication and interpretation is quite important for becoming a data analyst, and obviously statistics is quite important for data scientist and data analyst. Okay, so moving forward, I just wanted to tell you like few of the suggestions which you guys can also do if you are like right now in the very starting second and third year of the college. So the very first thing is projects. As I mentioned earlier in one of my slide, that one of the thing that really stand out for me for getting an internship at IBM Research was my major project. And the reason why it was really good was it was made from scratch. We did not just copy pasted a project which was available online. We really had a vision, and we really started from the scratch, and we really had a vision of, okay, I want to work someday in the data science field. So I really want to stress on this particular thing, that if you guys are in the first year and second year, so it's like you guys can start building few of the projects right now from just go ahead and start building small projects in data science. You can get anything like maybe on Kaggle, and you can start through YouTube. And definitely there is like great data sets available on Kaggle. I'm sure that some of you must have already been aware and must have already been done some if you guys are really interested in data science. And Yeah, you can really, that's a very good source, Kaggle, and there are some other as well. If you are really interested in data analyst part, then there's a tool Tableau. You guys can definitely start building projects and portfolio in Tableau, and Tableau is also a good source of data. There are also open source available data sets. You guys can definitely start building small projects. And if you guys are in first and second year, then it's really good if you guys start building now, because by the time you will reach your third year and fourth year, you definitely have great idea and skills, along with the skills to make something different, or make something good minor and major project. Because data science projects are most of the time difficult, as most of the time it's building models, and most of the time it revolves around finding new things. And it's most of the time, okay, we want to improve the model and we want to increase the efficiency, and most of the time the project's final presentation involves like what did you had the findings and what is the analysis you did. But most of the time when it comes to major and minor projects, you want something which is actionable, which is giving some output. So definitely by the time you reach that level, you definitely have all the skills of data science in hand, and you can definitely think on the top of it and create a new idea. Next is internship. So this thing I also wanted to stress on, as internships are quite important. I wanted to share this as because we are from like as I also did my bachelor's from UIT, and all the students from UIT normally kind of lack this experience. Most of the time, students from who are studying in the metro colleges, they definitely have a better advantage of getting good internships. But definitely, like as the world is going more towards remote, there's still remote opportunities available. And right now, even the virtual interviews and all these things are becoming much better. And definitely, if you guys can get some internships in data science, if you are interested in data science, definitely, or in any other field as well.
Anshita,
Yes, ma'am.
can I just interrupt?
Yeah.
I feel you have told very nicely what they should be taking care of. And if you could like share some of your projects or some of your work that you have done, they can get a feel for that.
Okay, yeah, I think I can share my Tableau profile, because that is my projects. Most of the
Yeah.
work which I have done are like in companies, so that I cannot share. But
No, yeah.
yeah,
But just to get a feel of how or what kind of work is desired, expected down the line of them, that'll be better.
yeah.
You can elaborate a little on how data science is working, or what sort of application. So with some examples, if you could share.
Yeah. Okay, so how much time we have? Actually, we have good amount of time, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay. Just a second. Okay. So. Okay, let me just complete this slide, and after completing this slide, I'll just share my Tableau profile with you all.
Okay.
And some of my projects which I have done in Tableau, and some of my projects which I have done in my master's, a little bit on that. Okay, I'll just do this slide and then I'll share a few things.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So internships, as I was saying. So internships, I wanted to stress this because like I also did one of the internships back in my bachelor's, and that was completely in a different field. That was in designing, that was in UX UI designing. So I did that at that point of time as like every student in undergrad is, they want to learn everything and they want to understand all sorts of technology and skills. I also thought like I also was interested in UI designing, and I was actually even thinking of pursuing my master's degree in UI designing as well, and I was actually thinking of going towards this particular field. And I took an internship in that field, but I understood that I was not really that much interested. As when I did the internship, I felt that okay, this is not for me. Maybe I'll just stick to the backend engineering only, and or maybe something else. Then I got the opportunity to do the projects in data, so I, rather than going towards the software and full stack engineering, I went towards this direction. So like internships are a great way for you guys to understand in your bachelor's program only that what field you guys are interested in and what are the skills you guys are good at. So you guys can definitely understand that even going further in this particular field is going to help you or not. So most of the time, because data science right now is like many students wants to be a data scientist, and it is going to be a good field. Definitely it has a lot of opportunities in the future as well, but you want to understand that does it really help you, or does it really wanna someone you want to be. Because not only my undergrad internship but also my master's internship as well really helped me to understand that which section of data science I'm actually good at, whether it is building new models, whether it is understanding the past data, or whether it is actually the processing of data. So that internship also really helped me to actually understand that which part and which role of data science is really good for me. Next is portfolio, and a lot of students, as I see, a lot of students who are actually doing bachelor's and undergrad degree, especially who are in doing undergrad degree in data analytics and data science. I'm actually seeing a lot of students right now very great in creating their portfolios, and they're already in their undergrad degree, already have a great portfolio of all their GitHub accounts. You can definitely do your projects, and you can definitely have an entire portfolio of your projects on. And if you're really interested in data analysis, then you can definitely have Tableau profile. I'm going to share my Tableau profile as well, and I'll share a few projects I did there. So this is for the students who are interested in data analysis. So you definitely can have a Tableau profile that is free of cost, and definitely you can have a lot of data sets. As I told you, you mentioned to you guys that what are the data sources you guys can get free data, and you can definitely start building it. So before you go for the interview for your internships, or you go for the interview outside of campus as well to a different company for the data science or data analysis profile, you definitely have the portfolio ready. And also you can set up a GitHub account. If you guys do not have yet, I'm sure some of you already have some GitHub accounts, and you guys might be using GitHub accounts for developing your projects. If not, yeah, sure. In a minute, Shubham. Yeah, so if you guys just you guys can share in chat that how many guys or of you among you are using GitHubs for collaborating projects. Yes, you can say that. Oh, okay, that was one. Yeah, that's good. Two people. Yeah, that's two, three. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that looks good. That's better than us, I guess. Yeah, that's really great, Praveen, that you started using. Yeah, that's great. That looks great. And even if there are students who are right now in first and second year as well, you guys also can definitely start using GitHub. So that's a really cool tool for showing your projects which are right there. And not only that, I think for collaborating also you should use GitHub itself for if you are working on a project, that also rather than pushing it in one go at the end, just try to collaborate one by one, piece by piece, because that is going to be, it is how going to be in the industry also. And if you will have all students interact in the GitHub one by one rather than pushing the entire code at the end, that's also gonna help you guys in the long run. So the last piece of advice, again, become proficient in one tool or language. Definitely, I cannot stress this enough. So as like right now you guys are in bachelor's program, so definitely you guys want to learn a lot of things. But this is like one advice which I also didn't listen to, but in my master's program I really understood that okay, one tool, one language is enough, and definitely you can move toward another language very quickly. If you just have the basic understanding of one thing, then you are good to go. Okay, so now I'll just share my profile links and portfolio, little bit of work I've done. So that's like my Tableau public profile. Are you guys able to see my? Okay, yeah, yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's my Tableau public profile. This is specifically for the data analyst role, and if someone is interested in data science as well, they can also make it. But specifically for the data analysis role, so these are a couple of data sets which I took, and I created dashboards. So these are quite good and quite fun. Like if you select, they change accordingly, dynamic. So it's like you can tell your story. So for example, like I did data analysis on the Spotify popular songs. So here I selected the popular tracks. Here I selected and showed like the popular tracks by song name, and here I did the analysis, like which popular songs over the year. And by hovering over it, you can see the name and how many popular songs were there. So this is a very good way, because this is very interactive and it can change accordingly, and it's very easy to create as well, and it really gives you the idea of um, yeah.
You could
So
also,
these are like,
Anshita, you could also tell them like how you collected the data, or what tools you use for that to build this project. Something if you could, like they could get an idea of
yeah.
where the data cleaning is required, or what sort of ML algorithms are required for making any sort of predictions or something like that. Because they are studying machine learning, part of data science also they are studying. But like for them to get a picture of how everything comes together, or where all these pieces are required to build one thing.
Okay.
So this is
So
really
this
good what you are telling. So if you could just elaborate a little more, that will help them.
okay. So this one is actually in these projects. I think I already, yeah. So these for the ones I've already, like I mentioned, the data source here. I use the Kaggle data source for getting this data, and normally most of the time these ones are already good enough and cleaned. But for example, if the data set and data source is not clean, then I have two, three options. One, I normally use the Jupyter Notebook Python for using, like I use make use of Python, and I normally clean my data using Jupyter Notebook. And most of the time, like I can share you if I might have any data science project here. Okay, do I have notebook shared here?
I
Yeah.
mean, there's no binding, but the more you inform them, they are into their second year and third year, so they can build up better.
Yeah, I'm just looking if I can find my any notebook. Okay, yeah, I can maybe share a little bit on this as well. Okay. After this, I'll share a little bit of NLP model project which I did in masters, so that I can share. So yeah, so in this one, I normally do two things. So there's like Tableau Prep tool as well. So Tableau Prep tool as well, it actually gives you options for changing data type. It's like a tool, it gives all the options in the tool itself, for changing data types, for handling missing values, for removing null values. And if there is any other data like you want, the it gives you all the data cleaning things and like tools, everything in this particular Tableau Prep tool. And then after the data is clean, then you can utilize this entire data set for making the visualizations for however the story you want to build. So this is like the Tableau public is free, but definitely, as ma'am said, that data cleaning is also required, and you want to know about this. So this particular Tableau tool is actually just for the data visualization creation. Normally, this will not help you in data cleaning. So, if in case if you want to have the clean data, so this particular tool just allows you to upload CSV file. I think you guys must be aware. If you guys are learning machine learning, then you must be aware of all these things. So CSV date, it just allows you to upload CSV data. So definitely, if you want to do the data cleaning part, that you can do on Jupyter, and you can definitely, like for example, I'll share this particular to project which I did in my master's. So this is a different project. This was the NLP model I created. So definitely the very basic start is like you can definitely start from importing the data. Then you can definitely start by uh, okay, you can definitely go ahead by, this is the entire part of understanding and cleaning of the data. Then once that part is done, so here this was NLP model, so we utilized NLTK in this, and this is like the bunch of libraries we imported for this. And like similarly, if you want to create these sort of projects, and if you have unclean data, you can definitely go ahead for this entire Jupyter process, notebook process of cleaning of those data, and finally whatever you can get at the end, you can save that clean data into a CSV file, and then you can have those visualizations. And this NLP project was particularly in the data science field. This was the natural language processing one. So yeah, it's the end. Okay, so that's actually the end. So what we were actually trying to do in this project was we wanted to create this. In this particular project, we did Amazon review scrapping. This was the web scrapping project, and also we trained the NLP model to get like the words which were mostly used in the reviews. So first of all, we used the beautiful soap library of beautiful soap library of Python for scraping the Amazon reviews. That's a very easy process. I am definitely sure you guys will search it online and you'll definitely get it. And after that, we'll did the entire processing as I showed you, the entire notebook. And this was at the end, we wanted to get the result that which were the most popular ratings, and what were the words used, and what were the like most of the different products rating, what was the reviews given by different people. It was good, it was positive, it was negative. So that is what we were trying to build here. So this is the output. And this is my master's project. So normally definitely these projects normally involve a lot of like, it's mostly towards like building the model. It's mostly towards the analysis of the model, and what all features you can get and select, and what are the features you are selecting. Like here I'm doing this PCA, so this is basically I'm doing it for taking the whichever column is most important and understanding. So this is basically the entire. After this, I'm building the model. So most of the project in masters in my data science involve like this entire Jupyter notebooks only. So after, and in the result used to be like, what is the output, what is we are getting out of it, and if there was anything like slight improvement we did. For example, most of the time the projects used to be something which is already done on Kaggle, but it used to be something like if the highest accuracy have gone 65.6%, then is there a way that you can change and tweak your model to gain 70% of accuracy? So these sorts of projects were in my master's, and this is something related to data science which I did in my master's program. And the other project is also similar. I think, yeah. This is a very common project. I think this is okay. I've put so this is another one of my master's project. So in this one, this is also a very common project which normally involves like the insurance data analysis. So this one this one was also like, okay, we have to build the model and again improve the accuracy a little bit. So um, this is like the one which I did in my master's program. And again, like how I've shared, okay, here I've shared a little bit about how I did the data cleaning and all. So like we have actually uh, like jotted the points of how we handled, like we removed the columns with null values if the columns had more than 30% of the null values. That's how we decided to remove them. Then we performed imputing means like we were like wherever the things were not there, we imputed then the mean and the median of the entire column. Then we had performed data processing, so that is like encoding and dimensionality reduction. So that's also an important thing. Like finally, which is very important in building of the model, like which columns you actually want to use. Like if there are, for example, if there is credit card fraud or for example, okay, I'll take the example of maybe weather. So if we are taking the example of weather, which factors could be important? Time is important, or the humidity is important, or the temperature is important, and maybe there is a column date. So if you're going to build a model for predicting of the weather, then which thing is important? So that's a very important part of uh, building any model and choosing the dimensions, because at the end of the like project, your like accuracy is gonna depend a lot on that. And so, for example, if you're building a model for predicting the weather, then maybe your humidity is more important as compared to the date column. You can skip the date column and you don't need to care about the null values as well. So next is again normalization part. Then for this project, we took logistic regression, random forest, support vector, XG boost, all these types of approaches. And then like obviously we found out the different accuracy score of different algorithms, and as you can see, the accuracy scores are like quite low. So it doesn't matter that if your accuracy is like very high. I mean, in most of the time in data science courses subjects, whenever some students are working on a data, so I wanted to like share this thing that even in the master's program as well. So whenever students were working on data, some students used to get too much like caught up with the accuracy. So it doesn't matter if your accuracy is very low also, it just matter that at the end of the day what data you are selecting. If you have removed everything because you want to improve the accuracy, then anyways at the end of the day your model is not going to be good. So if we want to think about the real scenario that in the future you guys will be working in a big company, the overall approach is more important than selecting a data and getting 100% accuracy. You can definitely delete all the data, and then also with 2 rows you can get 100% accuracy as well. So these are different accuracies and things I found. And ultimately, like most of the data science project in my master's program used to be getting the findings and showing the whatever the conclusion we used to get, like which was the important feature, which was the model which worked for us, and if we were able to improve any of the model which was given, slightly improve the accuracy by a little bit as well. So this is some of the projects which I did in my master's, and I'm just going to share the portfolios as well. Yeah. So, I have I have added all my master's project and everything, like which were good enough to share on my GitHub account. So as you guys said that you guys have, most of you guys have, so you guys can create your GitHub account like this and definitely have your all the projects here, data science and data engineering projects. I also have a data engineering project, but it was a very big project, so I'm not sure that will be able to understand it in this. Yeah, I think you will not be able to understand this in this. But okay. Yeah, it was actually quite a big project because data engineering projects normally do not include any output. They most of the time revolves around the processing of the data and managing from one part to another. So it mostly have the documentations here. So I do not have anything to show it there. It's mostly a documentation part. So, and this is my Tableau profile. So, if any one of you is thinking of data science and data analysis, then this is also something you guys can do. Definitely, you as I showed two of my data science project. In one, I did web scraping. So definitely, you guys can web scrape the data, and that's a very easy process. You can definitely Google like how to use beautiful soap or different ways of web scraping and get the data. And definitely through Python and Jupyter also you can clean your entire data and get the CSV. And definitely after that you can use this free tool Tableau to make some analysis and stories and your data visualizations here. So yeah, you can use this tool to show the final. Okay. So you can use this Tableau public profile to show the final output of the entire cleaned data sets and data cleaning and the final CSV file you got, and whatever the visualizations you got, you can use this as the final thing to showcase your projects and also your GitHub account. Okay, so that's from my side for sharing my projects. I'll go back to the last part of my presentation. Okay. So I'm coming back to the last part of my presentation. Okay, so mistakes new data scientists make. So mostly I think this is from my personal experience, and even now also this thing is there. So I'm just gonna share maybe the next slide, and you guys can send in the chat that what I'm trying to say by this slide. Like, what do you guys think could be the mistake most of the data science people make? You guys can share your opinions in the chat. Any guesses? No. Yeah, I think Harshvardhan got it right. Mathematics, yes, exactly. That's the word. So mathematics, yeah, it's a really important thing. Like even when I started my career in data science, even most of the things were like, okay, we are making these interesting models, we are making these big things. And right now in the market, when you already have these great AI tools, which is OpenAI, there's there's like OpenAI's ChatGPT, there's Spark, there's so many things out there, and we think of building these big things, and we think of okay becoming the greatest data scientist and the greatest data, like we are going to make the best model, but the reality is that many of the data models or many of the things which right now the data scientists are working does not even get to the production, does not even get the light. Like finally, most of the time the work goes into the research and going towards the research, and still it's in the process and still it's going on. So down that road, like whether you are data analyst, whether you are data scientist, mathematics like algebra, statistics, probability, it's going to be your one of the very good qualities which you have, and this is definitely going to help you in the long run. Like for example, as we are students from IT and CS background, most of the time what we will think is okay, we'll just become proficient in Python language, we'll become proficient in SQL language, and after that we'll just search okay what is the thing which is required. Then we'll get to know about the soft skills, as I mentioned earlier that the soft skills of communication, interpretation is still required. So most of the very first thing which you will search and get to know like what is required to become a data scientist or any of the data professional, whether it is data analyst or data engineer as well, you will find few things, technical skills that okay you are going to do this. And analytical skills are something which is presumed whether by the industry or whether by the interviewer or whether by everyone that okay you already have analytical skills, maybe that's why you are interested. But maybe this is not the reason you are interested, or maybe you don't even knew that mathematics is that important. Like as you will be going further, this is also for someone who are really interested in making those big models. So there's another field as well, that is of applied scientist and ML engineers. So not only the data scientist profile, but also like going towards becoming applied scientist and ML engineer in big companies, big FANG and MANG companies, or even if you are going towards the direction of getting your master's or PhD done in data science. Definitely this is mathematics is going to be something which is going to be very important, because most of the time data science is about numbers, it's about probability, it's actually understanding what is even if you are doing a prediction, so it's mostly understanding like okay this is probable, so that is what you have to predict, or this is not probable. So it's basically maths. At the core of data science is maths, like whether it is analysis, whether it is data science. And I wanted to share this because as you go in the long run, in the very long path, then this is mathematics and the basic skills of algebra, probability for building models is going to help you guys a lot. So that's bring me to the end of the presentation, and you guys can, I think we're already quite over the time, but still like if you guys have any questions, I'm here. You guys can drop in the chat, or also if you guys want to unmute and ask, you guys can ask.
If you guys have any question, please write in the chat box.
I think Yash asked the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Any scholarship programs to make? Yes, definitely, Yash. There are many scholarship programs. I mean, like US, whether it's in US or whether it's in UK or Australia or even another country you're thinking of going to, even like countries like Germany, um, and I believe that there's like countries like Germany and all, and some European countries even have a better scholarship options, even as compared to America and Canada. But if I just talk about USA, then definitely yes, they do have scholarships, but you have to be exceptional in your undergrad degree and undergrad pointers. Like you should have really good pointers, and also if you have extra co-curricular things that will really add a bonus point to your entire profile. And normally if you go for pursuing master's program, then definitely there is like an exam, GRE. Most of the universities in America right now are waiving GRE exam off, but definitely if you give that exam, then you will be able to get a better university. And also sometimes the scholarship or percentage of scholarship are also dependent on your GRE score. So definitely yes, there are colleges, but you will have to look into it. And many colleges offer scholarship, most of the colleges offer, but there's a section of students they will offer. Every college offer it, but definitely there will be certain students who are like better or excellent than others. For them they will offer the scholarship. uh, Uh, yeah. So Amisha has a question: how much contribution can aptitude and logical reasoning make in data science career? So as I was saying and sharing in my slide, that yes, it is definitely it's going to be of great contribution, because right from the starting there's like the interpretation skills are very important. For example, even if like you start with a very basic Python notebook and you're working on a very simple data set only, once you see your data set, and once you are okay, when you are cleaning it, that's the point when it starts, that okay, you will have to understand like when you're analyzing it, whenever you are using whatever matplot library, seaborn library for creating the visualization and understanding, from the very starting point you are working with the numbers only. So the understanding part and the aptitude part is very important in that. And as per if as you guys are right now in the college, and if you guys are actually asking if these things are asked in the interviews as well, and then yes, definitely. So if you guys are going directly for the data science interviews and campus placements as well, so as compared to the SD role, the level of aptitude and logical reasonings are going to be higher in data science roles. So for example, if you're applying even in the software engineering also, like the basic understanding of maths is required, but it's not that much because we need more of data structure and those understanding. But when we see like the interview as well, so in that software engineer there will be a coding thing, there will be an aptitude exam, and in the aptitude exam there will be like maybe a little lesser, not that so difficult questions in software engineering. But if you will go to the data science engineering like interviews, then definitely this level of mental aptitude questions are gonna go a little bit higher as compared to the back-end software engineering interviews and full stack interviews. Sometimes they are involved even in the like the verbal interview round as well, but most of the time technical interviews will definitely involve. Apart from that, lifelong you will have to work with numbers. Okay, I hope, Amisha, I might have answered your question. So moving forward to Somyadeep's question, what are the soft skills apart from technical skills that are important in DS roles? So as I mentioned in my presentation, so one of the important soft skill is presentation, and the another important soft skill is communication. So, for example, if you are maybe in data engineering and data science, sometimes it's not gonna be that much important, but in data analysis role and sometimes in data science role as well, you will have to present your work, you will have to communicate and tell what you are doing exactly, because not just you will be building your model, you will be doing your work, but how will you explain that what are you doing to other person? So the soft skill of communication and presentation is really important, and it's definitely gonna help you in the industry. I hope I have answered Somyadeep's question. Shreya's question. Okay. So Shreya's question is a difference in the work culture. So that's a good question. Yeah. So some of the things which many people even share that about US's work culture is that it's quite like very quite chill, quite much like you will get more time flexibility. So that is yes, it is there. The important thing I felt a difference in US and India is as I was doing and I'm working here, whatever role I'm doing, whether even in my college, even in my internship, even in right now in my job. So I am always like able to speak up to my opinion, and I'm always involved in the decision making. It doesn't matter if you are in the lower position or a higher position, you will be definitely involved in the meetings. You will really be able to speak up your mind. You will definitely have the freedom and flexibility, and that difference of work culture is really important for one's growth, because ultimately at the end of the day you want to become successful, you want to take ownership, leadership, and you want to take the next step in the ladder. So that is something which you get from very initial stage, so that's a very good difference. But also there's another thing that here in US you have to take charge on your own. Normally, sometimes when you're working in India, and if you are working in the at a junior role, you might definitely get daily tasks. You will get daily task assigned by your manager, and there will be certain tasks you will have to complete by the end of the day or end of the week. But here in USA, normally a task won't be assigned to you. There will be generally some work which you will have to do, and ultimately you will have to take the ownership to ask up to your manager that what's the next thing I have to do, and you will only have to take the step to start working and go ahead. So that's a major difference I felt in both countries' work culture. Um, yeah, okay. Kritika's question. So, what is the important things which helped me in gaining my internship at IBM? As I told you, at that point of time, I think one of the things was like the field in which I worked was a thing, it was quite similar to the work I was doing, the projects I had. So, 2 3 projects I had actually done in understanding and building of the model, and most of the work was actually the data science projects which I had done were actually for the basically understanding of the different statistics and different impacts on different gender and all those things. So this was something like the kind of work which I was doing a little bit in IBM research as well. So the work which I had done already in my projects was also similar. So that was a very major thing which actually helped me. Apart from other things like which were in my resume. So obviously these projects were my work experience was there. I had a section of skills, and I had accomplishments, whatever certifications and accomplishments I had done till that time, and I had a summary of what at the top, like what I wanna do, and what is my aim and my statement of purpose at the top of the resume. And the important thing in my resume was like my resume was clean and sorted and completely good format, and it was like a small one page resume. So like the overall format of like format, I kept the format very good. So I mean, I can you can definitely connect with me later on because that's a completely different topic. If you want more knowledge on what sort of resume I had used, so that's like I can discuss more on that later. I hope like whatever point I shared right now was helpful to you, Kritika.
Thank you so much for the session, ma'am. It was indeed very helpful for us in knowing the data science field in more detail. And from your perspective, we got a lot of knowledge from internship to our undergraduates and master graduates experience. I would like to thank you on the behalf of the whole IT department for being with us today.
Okay, that was wonderful, Anshita, that you spared your time because I think it must be midnight or so.
Yeah,
You
it's
are-
already 11. Yeah.
yeah, so like, regular working time for us, but too late
Yeah.
for you. So that
Yeah.
was a good piece of information that you shared. And I think the students might have benefited, or they will benefit, or they will take those tips in mind that they must be definitely thorough with the mathematical part if they are going to take this trajectory of being into data science, or and how they should be careful, or what sorts of scholarships are there. They can, of course, contact you. You have shared your details, and they can look up to your GitHub profile. And I think whatever you shared about making projects on Tableau and all, that would definitely be another insight to them, like what kind of things they can do. And like our Alumni Association RGPV campus, that AARGPVC, Rupam Gupta ma'am is the secretary, Dr. Anshita Verma is the treasurer, and B.S. Yadav is the president of that association. So we keep holding such AARGPVC talks. And so you had visited last time, and do keep visiting like this. And our students do enjoy this, and we hope that they'll communicate to you, they'll keep in touch. And all the best for Bharat. It was a wonderful piece of information that you shared.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So I think if any of our faculty members would like to say anything, anyone there, so, or we close. Okay, I think we can close.
Okay. I just like to say thank you. Like you guys were a wonderful audience, and you guys really interacted throughout the process. So that was really great. And I've shared my details. And definitely, if you guys want to connect with me, and you guys can go ahead and send me a request and follow me on LinkedIn. And if there were any questions which I was not able to answer now, you guys can definitely ping me on LinkedIn, and I will be able to answer more questions on maybe the masters or the resume part. And yeah. And also, I like to thank the entire student team for helping and coordinating this.
Yeah, all the team behind the scenes. also did a good job today. Yeah. We also would like to appreciate all the faculty coordinator, Rupam ma'am, Shifa Manihar, and all the student members.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, then we may close.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a great
Have a good
session.
day. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.